fight him. Wait.
Nigga.
Here we go again. What's going on, everybody? It's K to AK Khalil Too Short, and we're going to be talking about another black actor in quotation who is doing the Oppression Olympics again. But before we get too deep into the video, make sure that you like the video, share the video, subscribe if you want to, and if you don't do all three of those things, the next Star Wars film is going to be starring Rachel Zegler and Brie Larson rebuilding the Jedi Order to tear down the patriarchy.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or...
Let's get into it. Star Wars is finally in the news. We know that it is a dead brand because Kathleen Kennedy absolutely sacrificed it on the altar of identity politics. And it's looking like John Boyega is going in that very same direction. Yeah, John Boyega is out here attacking the fans. Now listen, before we go into the dumb things that he said, let's make one thing clear. When The Force Awakens dropped that first trailer, everyone, and I mean everyone, was excited to see the narrative story that Finn's character was going to go through. A stormtrooper who defected from the Empire or the First Order going to the light side and the ramifications that come with that. They were calling him a traitor, showing how much of a cult this was. Maybe they would show how he was kidnapped and indoctrinated into this position. He might even turn out to be a Jedi. And on top of that, it's a black dude. Yo, that was freaking cool. I know when me and others saw it, we're like, yo, I can't wait for this to come out. And I remember the discussion online was, yo, this is a really cool idea. So a lot of people were interested, as was I. I always say that Finn was the most interesting character out of the three that they introduced. He should have been the forefront. He should have been the one that the narrative was going along. And when we get to the end of The Force Awakens and it turns out he's not the Jedi and it was Rey all along, oh, it's the women, blah, 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 blah. That was really annoying, but there was still a chance for Finn to come out and do something positive. So what did they do with their strong black male character? They made him a wimp. They put him on a side quest with one of the worst characters in Star Wars, Rose Tico, and completely took away his agency because she came and said,
"That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love."
And then they turned him basically into the Rey guy. He's just screaming Rey, Rey, Rey for 3 movies straight. And then they shoehorn some random black bitch at the third one to try to say, hey, look, there's another black person in the galaxy. It's like, yo, they screwed your character over. Not us. The fans wanted you, John Boyega, to be the one to lead the franchise. And you would have thought that he would understand that the way that he's been going after Disney in recent years. Like this quote from 2020, he said, "What I say to Disney is do not market a black character as important and then push them aside." I completely agree with him. That's why people were defending you and clowning Disney when they shrunk you on the Chinese poster. And I say it all the time, I like strong black leads, okay? If it doesn't have anything to do with drugs, gangs, race, all that stuff, and it's just a black character in a good role, I am 100% down with it. That's why we wanted your character to be the forefront. But let's see how you responded to the fans that were defending you for years.
They're pandering. Let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space. Like, this franchise is so white that it's like a black person existing in that was something. And you can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are on the cookie dough. I'm like, bro, it's just, they just scattered that in there, bro. They're okay with us playing the best friend. But once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much.
Hey, ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit, man.
Oh my God, bro. I haven't watched that clip since I saw it, and now I just watched it again for this video. This guy's a fucking moron. All right, let's get into it. So he starts off by saying Star Wars is an inherently white universe. Let me stop you right there. Ever since Star Wars, okay, the first movie, not when it got renamed to A New Hope, ever since Star Wars, people of all shapes and sizes, races and creeds, sexualities have loved the franchise, and everyone was welcomed. I am 28 years old. In my 28 years of living, I never felt like I could not like Star Wars because I was black. I never felt like this was an inherently white universe. Everybody's fucking aliens. What are you talking about? What is it? Because Han, Luke, and Leia are white? Who gives a shit? Nobody cares about their skin color. They care about the characters. Nobody looks at Star Wars and goes, oh, this is a white man's thing. Everybody likes Star Wars that likes it. What are you talking about? The fan base never got fractured, even during the prequel era, mind you. People weren't against Star Wars because, oh, this is too white. There's not enough black people. People were talking about the quality of the films. People were talking about the storylines, but the fan base was never fractured in that way until Disney, Rian Johnson, Jar Jar Abrams came in and divided that fan base. They put Rey at the forefront because she's women and she's white. She has no kind of characteristics. They put you, John Boyega, at the back end because you're black and they made you the best friend character, you dumbass nigga. Everybody wanted you to be the lead. Everybody say, why are they cooking Finn? They put you at the back, not the fans. So going, oh, this is an inherently white universe. Nobody's looking at it like that. You're the only one doing this. But let's hear his other point.
A black person existing in that was something. And you can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are on the cookie dough. I'm like, bro, it's just, they just scattered that in there, bro.
Another dumbass take. I'm going to get angry, okay? He's saying, oh, they just scattered that in there, bruv. They just scattered that. Look, it's only 2 black characters. Nobody's looking at Star Wars like, why aren't there enough black characters? Because nobody cares. And the 2 characters that you're mentioning, that everyone mentions, either they're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everybody mentions these 2 characters. Do you want to know why? Because they're good characters.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the prequels. Samuel L. Jackson played Mace Windu. So let's just be with normies, right? Let's just go off of the movies. We're not going to talk about the EU. We're not going to talk about the comics, the video games, the Clone Wars show. None of that. Let's just talk about the movies. Mace Windu is one of the most powerful Jedis to ever exist. There was always fan discussion about whether or not he would have beat the Emperor if Anakin never showed up, and could he go toe-to-toe with Anakin himself? That's why there's so many theories about he's still alive after he got shocked out of the window, because he's that powerful. And by the way, the character was played by Samuel L. Jackson, a prolific actor, one of the greatest of all time. Not just black actors, one of the greatest actors. He fundamentally helped change the lore about lightsabers. The man was so influential, he said, nah, George, I don't want a blue, I don't want a green, I want a purple lightsaber. And George was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll give you a purple one. And that fundamentally changed the lore about lightsabers, about what people wielded certain colors because of the attributes of their character. He is so influential. And on top of that, Mace Windu is fucking badass. So going, oh, it's only a few of them in there, bruv. It's absolutely stupid. Let's talk about Lando, played by Billy D. Williams, of all people, one of the smoothest motherfuckers of all time in Hollywood. People loved Lando so much. He was like the Star Wars pimp, man. He wasn't the best friend. The man had influence. He had the entirety of Cloud City under his fucking thumb. He used to own the Millennium Falcon, one of the fastest ships in the universe. Hell, this man in Return of the Jedi had more of an impact in the war than Han Solo did. He literally blew up the Death Star. Who's the only other person that did that? Luke Skywalker. So trying to downplay him as the best friend role, are you fucking stupid? This is Lando Calrissian. And so pretending like he was just scrapped in there is absolutely dumb. And on top of that, nobody is counting the characters' skin colors. You're the only one doing this. I don't know how many times we have to say it. It's just you. And by the way, you did all that yapping, all that talking about black characters, and you didn't mention the most important one in all of Star Wars. Darth Vader is voiced by James Earl Jones. Rest in peace. One of the greatest voices in Hollywood history. Darth Vader transcends all fucking media. Everyone knows who Darth Vader is, and he's voiced by a black man, but you didn't bring that up at all. So hey, I guess you're not a Star Wars fan as much as you like to pretend you are, you dumbass motherfucker. But let's continue.
They're okay with us playing the best friend, but once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much.
Now, to his credit, before I roast him some more, there is some kind of legitimacy in that statement. It's not because people don't want to see black leads. It's because every time Hollywood puts one in, they're either A, an effeminate black man, B, a lesbian black woman that's bald-headed, or C, he or she is the best friend to the main character. Or we could go D, all of the above, and they use it as a virtue signal. Hey, we got this black character here. Hey, we got this black character here. If you don't watch this movie, it's because you're racist and you ain't black. Whose fault is that? That's not the fans' fault. It's Hollywood's fault. They're the ones using our skin color as a way to virtue, as a way to block criticism, as a way to try to get butts in seats and seem like they're so virtuous when the whole time they don't even care about the character that they're writing. That's why you see so much pushback against that kind of narrative, because they would rather see good original black characters than just stereotypes and virtue signals. But let's go to your character. Finn. The only reason why he's the best friend is because Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams made him that way. Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, the person that worked for you, that said the Force is female. She never came out with the Force is black shirt. Did you ever see that? She's the one that put your ass in the best friend role. So if you should be mad at anybody, you should be mad at them, not us, the people that defended you for years. It's just another example of how Hollywood actors are just like empty-headed NPCs. You just import whatever you want them to say into their brain and they'll spit that shit out. Because there's no way on God's green earth you've been around in this franchise since 2015 and you still don't understand that the fans had your back. My God, he must have found out that, you know, blaming the fans and calling them racist is going to get him more jobs, because I haven't seen him in anything else since they cloned Tyrone. All in all, this is another example of why we talk about black characters and black leads. We want good black leads. We want good black characters that are original, mind you. Yours was one of the few bright spots in the sequel trilogy that we thought was going somewhere. You were original. You were intriguing. You had so much potential with that character. I was seriously hoping that they were gonna go the route of the traumatized child soldier with him, and throughout the trilogy he would become more and more assertive and he would become the leader. Hell, he might even become a Jedi. But they didn't have the balls to put you with the white chick that replaced you. They made you the best friend and had her simp over the man that was mass killing people. They didn't even go with the traitor arc that they set up in The Force Awakens, how this was a cult, how you had betrayed your family. There were people that you knew on that Death Star or whatever it was called, the planet that ripped off A New Hope. They didn't even go into any of that. They just made you the sidekick. And obviously that's rubbing you the wrong way, so you're deflecting that out on the wrong people. And it's another example of people being so obsessed with their superficiality, which is their fucking skin color, man. That's something that you cannot control. You can't control what you look like on the outside, but you can control what you are on the inside. That's why I always say it doesn't matter about your skin color. It matters about the content of your character. Maybe he'll get that. Maybe other people in Hollywood will get that one day, but I seriously doubt it. You let me know down below, how do you feel about his statements, and how do you feel about original black characters? Maybe we should make a video on that, on some good original black characters. We might do that. But until next time, y'all be easy. I will see you on the next one, man.